So even though we've had this channel for a while, I don't even honestly remember how long, it's all a blur. But anyways.
Decades.
Decades, no. Not decades. But it's taken us forever to do Newport Beach full vlog tour, but we finally did it. And so to go along with that, we're going to have a video right now about what are the pros and cons of living in Newport Beach.
So stay tuned. What's up, everybody? I'm Dezahd.
And I'm Dezahd, and we're with Keller Williams Realty right here in Orange County, California. And if this is your first time to the channel and you want to know everything there is to know about living in Orange County, California, the good and the bad, don't forget to press on the subscribe button, and don't forget to press on the bell so that you're notified every time we upload a new video, because we upload new videos every week.
Yeah, and if you're watching this channel, you're probably thinking, wow, Sean, I love Orange County. I love the glitz, the glamour. I especially love the weather. And I can't wait to move out there now, but the problem is that I don't know anything about Orange County. I might be out of the area, I might be out of state, I might be even out of the country, so I don't know.
Out of the planet?
You know, maybe not that, but, you know, again, with Elon going to Mars, who knows?
Yeah, that's true.
But having said that, you know, you're going, okay, well, what's my first step? And I totally get that. That's why you want to reach out to us, so we can have that call to figure out like what your needs are and really direct you to the right place that really fits you perfectly. So what you want to do is you want to give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email.
Or you can reach out to us via WhatsApp. However you want to get a hold of us, we've got your back. So I know how, you know, you're supposed to save the best for last. You're supposed to try to get people to stay till the end. And I would definitely say, I mean, everyone knows that this is the worst con of Newport. So I'm just going to get the elephant out of the room, because everyone knows it. You don't have to wait till the end of the video.
Yeah, we'll start with the number one con.
Yes.
The con to end all cons, really, because
Yes.
really it kind of can be have quite the effect on what your decision might be.
Yes, and that is how expensive it is in Newport.
Yes, huge con, because its median price point is like over 3 million, like 3.2.
3.3.
Yeah, 3.2.
At the time of this recording.
So it's way high, obviously. So it's
According
super
to
expensive.
the average, so Orange County is not cheap itself.
It's $1,050,000 average.
Yeah, $1,050,000 average for all of Orange County.
Yes.
But Newport is 3 times that.
Yes, exactly. So it's a bit on the pricier side. One of the most expensive areas really in the world to live.
It is.
Again, understandable given there's a lot of demand to live in said place.
There's a lot of pros, right?
But it's too expensive.
There's a lot of pros to living in Newport.
Yeah, so with as much demand, then there's the limited supply. You know, basic economics tells you the price is going to be up there, and it is. So that's a huge con, because obviously, depending on what you're looking for, you may be finding that, you know, what you need out of a house, like, you know, size, location, that kind of thing, won't fit your budget in Newport. Now, having said that, if it works for your budget, highly recommended, fantastic place to live. However, obviously, you know, again, Orange County has a lot of other areas that can scratch that itch, you know, where it gives you a lot of what Newport has, but again, they're not Newport.
Yeah. About why is it so expensive? Because there's so many pros. I mean, let's talk about one of them, which is the fantastic weather, right? I mean, best weather in the world.
Like a fine wine. Like, it is.
Yes.
Yeah, like, arguably, I mean, say, like,
it's not arguable. It's objectively the best weather.
Yeah, it's not subjective.
No.
It's objectively the best weather in the world.
Yeah.
I will, like, put Newport up against anywhere else in the world. I dare them to step up and actually show us that their weather there is superior. Because honestly, so mild, so temperate, year-round, like, whether it doesn't get too hot, doesn't get too cold, it's that Goldilocks zone where it's just right. Obviously, the big problem with it is that it's going to make you a big wimp.
Yeah, you wimp.
When it comes to weather, when the weather does go above 80 or does dip below
75.
below 70. Like, you know, you're just really getting, you're just used to a really fantastic weather. And it's just, I mean, that the coastline of Orange County.
Southern California.
Yeah.
Santa Barbara on down is
wonderful.
The best weather in the world.
Yeah, exactly. So you know, I mean, you feel like us, and it's funny because you're only a couple miles inland, it starts to change rather.
Yeah. So you go to Irvine, which is borders
the next
Newport
city
Beach.
over.
Can be quite hot. And not to say that Newport can't get hot, but if it is hot in Newport, then it
much
is
hotter.
Roasting in the rest of the county.
Yeah, exactly. So and it is funny because it does get, you know, again, because the weather is just so good, right? Like again, the rest of the county has got great weather. It's just that you're talking about the best weather in the world, and obviously you start to kind of feel that like raise in like highs of temperature, especially in the summer months. Like in Newport Beach, there are again some houses don't even have air conditioning because it's really not again. Not saying it never necessitates it, but most of the time you actually don't need air conditioning at all.
Of course, the time that we did the full vlog tour was very cloudy. So it was one of the, it's not to say that, weather is perfect 365 days of the year, because 300 days out of the year it is, but 65 days out of the year
it does have clouds, it might have some rain. And actually, even that when it's cloudy, it was actually beautiful weather.
Temperature-wise.
Yeah, temperature-wise, it was actually very, very nice. It just was overcast, which was unfortunate for videos. Actually, from Newport, it was actually great. I mean, I actually enjoyed it. It's just that obviously on camera it makes it seem all like cold and gloomy when it actually was very pleasant as far as temperature was concerned.
Yeah, and that's another thing about Newport is that, and this is actually something that somebody emailed us and pointed this out to us because, we're born and raised Southern California, so there's some things about the region. You just take for granted. Yeah, you just take it for granted. And she had said, you guys forgot to mention that in, not just Newport Beach, but all of Southern California, you can have the beach lifestyle all year round, which isn't the case in most of areas in the United States that have beaches, right? I mean, obviously like Florida, but like, the East Coast, if you're from, like New York or something like that, you're not
going to the beach in the winter.
No, you're not going to the beach in the winter. Whereas in Newport, you can go to the beach any time of year. In fact, I would argue that my favorite time to go to the beach is the winter because it's not as crowded. I don't like it when it's hot. I prefer the cooler weather. So I just prefer the beach in the winter. And so that's another thing. That's another reason why Newport is so expensive.
Yeah, and to further prove that point is that Newport, especially like let's say along the peninsula, like along the beaches, there's a lot of vacation rentals that actually have like a lot of like not the high season, which would be the summer, but the second best season for like vacation rentals is in the winter because people want to just be at the beach again during that it's very pleasant, it's very nice. Again, the summer
it's very popular for the holidays. People that come from a snowy area, they'll just go to anywhere in Southern California for the winter because it's so nice.
Yes, for sure.
And then just to further this point of like year-round beach lifestyle is that what you get with Newport, you get such unbelievable outdoor opportunities.
Yeah.
You get the waterman or waterwoman lifestyle, right? You get to be in the water pretty much year-round if you want to be.
Is that a term, waterman?
Yeah, it's a waterman. The waterman's ball. I think that's in Laguna Beach, though.
I'm from Newport. I must have been under a rock because I actually was not aware of this waterman.
Yeah, I used to work for Surfer Magazine, and every year they would have the waterman's ball.
Okay,
yeah.
I missed the memo. I don't know what happened.
It speaks to the lifestyle, right? I mean, you can obviously have like boating, sailing, kayaking, surfing,
paddleboarding,
swimming. I mean, playing volleyball. Anything that you want in the water, that's what Newport offers you, right? You want to talk about some of the water features because not only does it have fantastic big wide beaches, but it has the harbor, right?
Honestly, it has. If you're looking for water, you're not going to really beat what Newport has to offer because you have world-class beaches. Like I've gone to Maui. I've gone and I actually used to live in Maui for a little bit, and people would rave about the beaches in Hawaii, which are great, but I came from Newport. I'm like, okay, they're fine. I'm not blown away by them because Newport, I'll put Newport beaches up against any place. Like it's got,
I like the Caribbean is prettier.
I have.
But the Caribbean, you deal with like the massive heat,
and also you don't get the waves. So I mean, also
you don't get the waves.
Yeah, so in Newport, you actually get some, you get some surf, so you actually get some nice, great, so it's great because a lot of beaches. They don't have good surfing either. Especially on the East Coast and stuff, you're not really...
like Florida. Florida's like a big beach state, right? Yeah. You don't have the surfing there that you have here.
Exactly. So you get great swells, like great waves and all that stuff. So you have that. And in fact, at the very tip of the peninsula, you have what's called the wedge, where they built this jetty out in such a way that almost like doubles the size of the wave. So you get some like 20-foot waves sometimes, depending on how the swells are kind of going.
Yeah.
Where, again, I don't think people must say surf, they have more body surf it, or
you have to be like a professional to do that.
Yeah, you'll feel like you're going through a washing machine when you're actually doing it, because it's pretty intense.
I've never gone in the wedge.
Yeah, and like a lot of times, like you'll see like news crews come out, when the swells are actually really good and stuff. So again, Newport beaches are incredible. And then literally, especially on the peninsula, which is like even more dramatic, because you go about 200 yards across, or 200 meters, give or take, across, and you're actually at Newport Harbor, which Newport Harbor is one of the most amazing harbors
so beautiful
in the world, because it's not a commercial harbor. And it's large. I mean, we've gone like on a 90-minute, harbor cruise there, just for the fun of it, just to, do that whole thing. And we actually did a day in the life where we kind of did a whole harbor cruise thing. And it's cool because, again, it's huge. It's actually really huge. Large. I mean,
and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful harbor.
Yeah. So you're not dealing with container ships. You're not dealing with all that stuff. You might be doing some large boats, but they're like yachts, right? Like 100-foot, beautiful yachts. But you have also little dinghies, you have duffies, you have a bunch of stuff going on in the harbor. Yeah,
paddleboarders, you see it.
Tons of stuff. And then on top of that, like to kind of even further that, we have the back bay, which that's kind of like a natural preserve where basically, you also can do more paddleboarding and kayaking and that kind of stuff. But you have like this, this is a natural like a destination or like landing spot for birds that are migrating, right? So they kind of stop here to feed and all that other stuff. So you have that. And then, I mean, honestly, there's just so much here. So that's a water aspect, right? And then we still have around the back bay, you can go on hikes and you can go on bike rides. And then if you want to do like mountain biking, you want to get a little bit more intense. Like it's not exactly in Newport. It's like right next door, like right on the border of Laguna Beach. You have El Morro, which is a fantastic place to mountain bike and do some more trail running and all that stuff. And again, you'd be hard pressed to beat like for pound for the size of Newport, like all the stuff you can do. And of course you have all the other stuff, the tennis clubs, the golf clubs, and you have all that other stuff, but just the natural things that you can't really just manufacture. Newport has that in spades.
Okay, so let's talk about some cons of Newport. You had mentioned there's a large prevalence of vacation rentals. So
in some parts of it,
in some parts of it. So how would that turn into a con?
Well, I mean, I guess if you're you can get an influx of people, right? I mean, that's when people are flocking to the beach, it can get pretty trafficy there. So that's one.
Yeah,
it can get pretty dense. Yeah, very touristy. Obviously, hey, sometimes people like partake in the activity, in the festivities and get a little more rowdy, depending.
Alcohol-infused rowdiness.
Yeah, and then also you have vacation rentals. So some people, again, I guess if you're an investor, this is a huge pro because you have vacation rentals. If you're looking to live, like to live there and you don't necessarily want to deal with the inconsistency of what your neighbors might be doing, then like as far as like might be having parties or whatever, then that like living in like those areas that have a predominance of vacation rentals is probably something you don't want to like take into account, right? Like then that's where it's really personal choice as far as what they're looking for, and depending on what that is, you got to reach out to us so we can kind of point you to just kind of letting you know, okay, this area, these specific areas within Newport, because not all of Newport has this at all. Like there's just some areas that specifically kind of cater to the tourists and the vacation rental stuff, and so if that's important for you to either have or not have, you gotta reach out to us so we can kind of point you into those, into what makes the most sense for you.
Okay, so this one's kind of a pro and a con because it depends on where you are in Newport. I mean, Newport is a large city, right? And there's lots of like very different neighborhoods that have totally different flavors.
Super different, yeah. Oh my gosh, like it's all over the place as far as, and I guess that's kind of funny because like this pro and cons list, it's like, well,
you're not letting me say the con. The con is depending on where you are. Newport can be hard to get to. I mean, depending on where you are. Then other parts of Newport, you're like, wow, that was so easy. Like, there was barely any traffic getting here.
Yeah.
So, we want to talk about that.
Yeah, so like Newport Heights is super convenient to get to. Like, it's really, really easy. Like, conversely, like if you want to get to the Balboa Peninsula, especially towards the tip, like where we were mentioning the wedge, that can be a massive pain to get in and out of because, again, it can be like a lot of tourists could be there. It just is. It's like it's a stretch. It's a long stretch there to kind of get to the tip, and unless you're taking the ferry out, which I wouldn't say that's a thing to really count on because it could be backed up too.
Is crazy.
Yeah, so like you're basically taking that, and sometimes it's taking like over 30 minutes just to get off of the peninsula, and then you're still dealing with the rest of Newport to get to the freeway. So you're getting a good 45 minutes or so to even get to, let's say, like the 55 freeway where it kind of starts. So that's one of those things where, again, depending on what you're looking for, again, that's why you reach out to us so we can kind of point you to that once, like those specific spots in Newport. And some people might like really like it. I mean, that's not, like if they're just kind of like, they're not necessarily needing to be at a location, like to work remotely, and they're going, hey, where I'm going to be, and I have no like real time frame to worry about as far as like daily daily activities. That the peninsula or like areas like it can be fantastic. It's just that it really just kind of depends on what your needs are.
So another big pro of Newport is that it is a large job center,
yes.
right? There's many companies that have corporate headquarters or big branch offices in Newport Beach, in Newport Center, and then also near the airport area. Mm-hmm. So talk about that part of Newport.
Yeah, so Newport actually, again, when you think of a beach city, you think of it's like all these just little beach shacks, and there's like far away from everything. It's like, speaking of that, like Laguna Beach kind of has that,
sure.
right? Like that
I wouldn't call Laguna beach shacks.
Yeah, well, no, they have some shacks there.
They do.
But then obviously, they're expensive too. I mean, Laguna Beach is one of those, like right there in Newport, they're kind of neck and neck.
Yeah.
So it's a very desirable area. However, they are legitimately, there's not really much shopping and much job stuff there.
No.
I mean, there's like more boutiques and stuff like that in
Laguna. But you're talking about like corporate headquarters.
Yeah.
Like lawyers, finance.
Doctors,
like
medical offices.
Big medical offices. Yeah.
We have Hoag Hospital
we have
too.
Hoag Hospital in Newport Beach too. So that's another big employment center.
And a big pro is that we'll get into that in a second. But so you have like a Hoag Hospital, you have John Wayne Airport, again, another big pro because it's just right there. Mm-hmm. And then of course you have also like Newport Center. So you have like three kind of hubs.
And then you have the buildings that are by the airport as well. Like I call it like the Newport Beach Airport area.
Well, yeah, that's what I was mentioning, John Wayne. So okay. So we have like I would say those are three that really. There's others as well, of course, but like those are kind of three very prominent job location spots where, again, depending on looking at the medical industry, biotech, honestly,
there's
so many
like
professional positions. Like there's so much going on as far as having that. In fact, a lot of places from Orange County, their jobs are in Newport, so they have to make, let's say take the 73 freeway or whatever to get there rather rapidly. And whereas Newport's like it's right in your own backyard.
Mm-hmm. I would say another big plus of Newport is shopping and dining. It has good shopping and dining.
Yeah, actually.
Although it doesn't have a Costco.
It does not. Yeah, I know. That's a huge ding, but they make up for it with their other shopping options, right? So what's nice is that you have, where Newport Center is, they have also Fashion Island, which is a large open, like outdoor mall. Mm-hmm. And it's, again, it varies as far as, obviously it does definitely do high end, pretty high end, for high-end clientele, as well as, again, more average as well. So it's kind of nice. It kind of covers all bases from that perspective. It's a great shopping center, and it kind of, again, offers a lot there. And then on top of that, you have, again, and if you're looking more for the boutique stuff, like along Pacific Coast Highway, tons of different boutiques, whether you're running through, Corona Del Mar, like Miracle Mile and Newport itself. And then so you have tons of different options for shopping, for sure.
Yeah, and I would say they have good restaurants in Newport as well.
Great restaurants, yeah, for sure. The restaurants.
And then obviously Newport does have nightlife as well.
Yes.
Remember, this is Orange County nightlife. This is not like LA.
I would say it's legitimate. I would say it's legitimate nightlife.
People who come from
New York
or even LA, they're like,
or Miami,
they're like, please don't tell me that.
Like it's 5 a.m. We're just like that. We're just waiting for dinner right now.
Yeah. Okay, so it's Orange County nightlife. There is nightlife available in Newport Beach.
Yes, whereas a lot of parts of Orange County, we kind of joke about how sleepy it is.
Yeah.
Newport definitely offers something like for the wee hours of the morning.
For sure. So I don't know, it depends on what your preference is. But Newport Beach, specifically Newport Coast, does offer you the option for gated communities. So you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so basically, this is a pro and con depending on, like, some people don't want, obviously gated communities in general are going to have HOAs, right? Homeowners associations. So that there's good and bad to that. Some people don't like it, some people like it. And again, that's where when you want to reach out to us to let us know what you're looking for. Because some people said, okay, I have a house. I do not want an HOA to like rule over me beyond what the city already does. So they do not want that. And I totally get that. And some people go, it keeps things rather consistent. Chances are I may have some amenities that, that are shared. And one being it could be gated, which is, for some people, like it's a really big deal for them to be in a gated area. So depending on what that is, Newport Coast is kind of very different than the rest of Newport Beach because Newport Coast is relatively recent. So it was more or less starting to be built, I'll say early 1990s. And then from there to this day, right? So you're kind of having, so it's a pretty big swath in Newport, like the southern Newport part between, Corona Del Mar and Laguna Beach, where lots of gated communities, it's actually Newport Coast is all gated communities pretty much. Mm-hmm. And then again, all HOAs for that matter. So there's that. And then the rest of Newport Beach, you do have you have some places that are gated, and like Big Canyon's another thing that comes to mind, but it's a much more varied. You have a lot of places that are just, there's a lot of variance in what they look like. It has a little bit more, again, just kind of has that
charm.
Charm, which, so it can depend on what you're looking for. But like a lot of the parts of Newport and Corona Marv, don't have necessarily gated communities, don't necessarily have HOAs.
So the last thing we're going to talk about is the schools in Newport Beach. The public schools, you can check for yourself on niche.com. They have high ratings. And then they also have the highest rated private school in all of Orange County, Sage Hill. So, I mean, you have definitely plenty of opportunities for education if that's, what you're there for.
Yeah, it's funny because a lot of times people think, oh, it's a beach city. They just think about surfer lifestyle and they don't think about, education's a big priority. But if you look at niche.com, these schools rank really, really high. And again, it's a nice plus if that's important for you. Newport Beach, like all of Newport Beach for the most part, has, solid schools.
So that's it. That's our video.
And remember, we are licensed realtors in the state of California. So as much as we do love making these videos, what we love more is to help you with your real estate needs. So whether you're looking to buy or sell a home, what you want to do is you want to give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email.
Or you can reach out to us via WhatsApp. However you want to get a hold of us, we've got your back.